Then the angel took the censer, filled it with fire from the altar, and threw it to the earth. And there were noises, thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake. So the 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. As we learned, the lightning, thunder, and voices typify the coming of the Son of Man that issues in the earthquake or shaking of the heavens and earth by the voice of Christ, as outlined in Hebrews 12:25 through 29. This voice is collective, not only proceeding from Christ, but also from the 5th seal, where the souls under the altar cry for judgment and vindication. This agrees with 1 Peter 4:17 through 19, which aligns with the prayers of all the saints that ascend before God from the golden altar in the 7th seal. Based on Revelation 1:10 and 4:1, it's safe to say that the voices in Revelation 8:5 are the trumpets, which is why they're seen when the 7th seal is opened. What are these trumpets? Since they are the voice of Christ, then they are the prophecies to the churches. The fact that they are referred to as trumpets speaks to the need for us to hear what the Spirit has said to the churches. Based on the context of the 7th seal, we should realize that the sounding of the 7 trumpets is the implementation of the judgment called for in the 5th seal, not on the world, but on His people, due to the falling away of the church. But remember, this is a matter of prophecy, for in the resurrection process, death precedes life. It will not be otherwise. The seals reveal the purpose of His coming as Son of Man, but the sounding of the trumpets is the manifestation of this coming, corresponding to the actual unfolding or coming to pass of the prophecies in Revelation chapters 2 and 3. Now, let's go to the following. Then Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and His disciples came up to show Him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said to them, "Do you not see all these things? Assuredly, I say to you, not one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down." Now as He sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to Him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?" Most everyone in Christendom is familiar with the preceding passages where Jesus tells His disciples, "Not one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down." Many believe this was fulfilled in 70 CE, but might there be a spiritual fulfillment too? Was 70 CE the close of the previous age and an indication of what would happen to the spiritual temple of God in the New Testament age? In response to the Lord's remarks, His disciples asked Him 3 questions. When will these things be, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? In Part 4, I propose that His people on earth are the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. If this is true, then this answers the second question in Matthew 24 about the sign of His coming. Didn't Jesus say that no sign would be given except this sign? So there is just one sign, and again, it's His people. This then lends strength to the very first thing Jesus said in response to their questions. And Jesus answered and said to them, "Take heed that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and will deceive many." How did Jesus say it? Many, not few, would come in His name and deceive many, not few. Not might or maybe, but will. This is a prophetic statement, so it must be fulfilled. And it was. When we bring this to the first 4 prophecies in Revelation, we see all the conditions that bring the fall of the church, beginning with those who say they are apostles and are not. But it doesn't end there. Following the false apostles are the deeds of the Nicolaitans, which later became a doctrine in Pergamos. When we consider the second prophecy, we see the blasphemy of those who say they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Jews does not refer to any form of Jewish religion, but to the idea of Christian conversion. And so it goes. Many enter to deceive, and many are deceived. Even in the very first prophecy, the Lord admonishes, "Remember therefore from where you have fallen. Repent and do the first works, or else I will come to you quickly and remove your lampstand from its place, unless you repent." When the lampstand is removed, we are no longer a light of the world. We are simply a form of godliness. What was it the disciples were trying to show Jesus? The buildings of the temple. This points to the following. Do you not know that you are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwells in you? If anyone defiles the temple of God, God will destroy him. For the temple of God is holy, which temple you are. When Jesus said that every stone would be thrown down, was he speaking literally or figuratively? I believe both, for the first typifies the second. What happened in 70 CE reflects what would follow for the New Testament believers. How else do we account for the shameful offense in history done in the name of Christ? This brings us to the following. Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless the falling away comes first, and the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Just as Jesus said, "Take heed that no one deceives you," Paul states, "Let no one deceive you by any means." He then speaks of the day that would come only after the falling away came first and the man of sin and son of perdition are revealed. Many believe this is yet to happen, referring to an antichrist figure that will arise sometime in the future. But I believe this is one of those occasions where what was future for Paul is past for us. And Paul is not speaking individually, but corporately, not literally, but figuratively, regarding the very thing we're discussing, false apostles and Jews entering into the first and second churches. Let's come back to 1 Corinthians 3 and consider what Paul said, leading up to saying that we are the temple of God. For no other foundation can anyone lay than that which is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now if anyone builds on this foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each one's work will become clear, for the day will declare it, because it will be revealed by fire, and the fire will test each one's work of what sort it is. If anyone's work which he has built on it endures, he will receive a reward. If anyone's work is burned, he will suffer loss, but he himself will be saved, yet so as through fire. Do you see it? Each one's work will become clear, for the day will declare it. What is this day? Is it the same day Paul speaks about 2 Thessalonians 2:3? I believe so, for it follows the falling away and refers to the fire that will test each one's work of what sort it is. If our work is gold, silver, or precious stones, it is purified by the fire. But if our work is wood, hay, and straw, it is consumed. The first is spiritual, but the second carnal. Who is this man of sin? Might it be what Paul called the old man or self in Romans 6:6, Ephesians 4:22, and Colossians 3:9? Might this be the essence of carnality typified by the first man Adam? Might the son of perdition simply be the man of sin in sheep's clothing? Much to think about, dear brother and sisters, so I will close at this point. But be sure to join me next time, and thank you for being a part of Grain of Wheat Publishing.